Welcome to Superstitions, Traditions, and Definitions. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Carol.
And today is Am I the Asshole?
Yes, it
Historical
is.
Edition.
Here we are.
Here we are.
Back for more.
With maybe an asshole, maybe not an asshole.
We'll find out.
We'll find out.
Yes. Go.
You want to just jump right in?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
Am I the asshole for limiting the fluid intake for several men to study the effects of dehydration?
I'm going to need more.
I mean, that is what it is.
I mean, yeah, but I'm going to need some context.
Some context.
Yes. Did we keep them from drowning?
No, there was no fluid.
I mean, that's what I'm saying is he pulled them out so that they didn't drown to death.
No.
Oh, okay. That's not how you restricted their fluid?
Uh-uh.
They weren't dying?
They weren't dying.
Okay. I'm going to have to know.
I mean, they felt like they were at the end of this experiment.
Oh, okay. Well, like, all right.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
The Olympics were first held in the U.S. in 1904 in St. Louis, Missouri.
I don't remember, but I bet you're right.
I thought you were there.
I was not.
Did you go to the World's Fair in St. Louis in 1904 instead?
No, I didn't. I missed all of
Because
that.
they were both there together.
I didn't live far from there. I mean, I lived on the other side of the Iowa border, but not in 1904.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
A little before your time?
Quite a bit.
I'll take your word for it.
68 years before my time. But, I mean, thank you for asking.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Let's hear it.
Because of my background as a founder and the secretary of the Amateur Athletic Union, I was asked to be one of the organizers.
Okay.
I helped map the route for the marathon run and set up the checkpoints.
Okay.
St. Louis in the summer is hot.
It is.
In the 90s usually.
You
Fahrenheit.
just got back from St. Louis.
I did.
Was it really hot?
Yeah, but it's beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, it wasn't bad while we were there. I think it was in like the high 70s.
Ooh.
It was perfect weather.
Lucky dog.
Running all over.
For August.
Mm-hmm. The day the race was run, it was in the low 90s.
Ooh.
We chose a route that was mostly dirt. We didn't close the road, so cars and horses and buggies were a problem, and were also kicking up extra dust. I wanted to study the effects of dehydration and knew the conditions of the St. Louis Marathon would be perfect for the experiments.
Okay.
On the 24.85-mile course, which is not quite a full marathon, I only put one water stop halfway through the course at mile 12.
12 miles.
Yeah.
Almost halfway.
Mm-hmm. 33 men participated in the event, but only 14 finished.
Did 14 live? Is that... Did somebody die?
No.
Oh, well, I mean, thank God. But...
I don't think. I'll have to check. The winner had been given strychnine. So my study didn't go quite as well
given strychnine?
As I had planned.
Okay.
By 1912, when the Olympics returned to the U.S., I had given up on the experiment because I had much bigger things to worry about then.
Like prison?
American women were wanting to participate in the swimming and the diving competition. And after a semi-pro athlete we approved to participate started winning medals, I had to figure out how to strip them away.
How to keep women from partaking and winning?
Well, no, he did not allow. See, women were allowed in 1912 to participate in the swimming events per the Olympics. He would not approve American women to participate in the swimming events.
Oh.
So no American women got to swim in the Olympics.
So hindrance.
In 1912.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay.
Jim Thorpe was also a participant in the 1912 Olympics.
Imagine.
Jim Thorpe was approved by the AAU, who did the approval for the American athletes, which Sullivan was a part of. They approved him knowing he was semi-pro to participate in the events.
Semi-pro is not amateur.
Right.
Yes.
But they approved him.
Right.
They knew,
Of
and they
course.
still approved him. Well,
Of
then he
course.
started winning medals, so then they stripped Jim Thorpe's medals
Oh,
away.
I see. I
He
thought
was
I
given.
misunderstood all that.
Yeah. So that was two separate things: the women and the medal stripping.
Okay.
So, but Jim Thorpe was posthumously awarded his medals back in 1993.
How nice. 93.
Mm-hmm.
How long had he been dead for?
Quite a while.
Long time.
Yeah. He didn't know.
Yeah.
He was never told he could have his medals back.
No. Did they go back to his family, I assume?
Did. They gave them to his children.
Interesting.
So, this whole event,
yes, ma'am.
marathon,
yes,
was interesting. It was a colossal disaster. So they didn't block off the road. So they're having to dodge cars.
So there were obstacles. So it was more like an obstacle course.
It was an obstacle course. It was a 25-mile obstacle course.
Fun.
Not to mention, it wasn't the length of a marathon, which is like 26.2 miles.
Something, yes.
So, like, there was all kinds of...
Okay, so the water at 12 miles. What are we doing? Was that his experiment?
Yeah.
He wanted to see how far you could go?
He wanted to study the effects of dehydration. So he decided this would be ideal.
Well,
they're going to be running. They're going to be sweating.
Yes, but that's kind of... I don't know how to put what I'm trying to...
Rude?
Well, yeah, he's a piece of shit. Yeah, for sure. But, dehydration over, like because you're sick or, those are they kind of happen. This is like right now, dehydration.
So he wanted to see if being dehydrated would push you to finish faster.
So you could hurry up and get a drink.
He wanted to see, what was his word?
Did you think you'd remember?
Yes.
Okay.
Purposeful. He wanted to study the effects of purposeful dehydration.
Okay.
He was a fervent believer.
Isotonic, hypnotonic, and hypertonic. That's what I came up with. But yours is purposeful. That's the word you're looking for.
We're going with purposeful.
Okay,
because I know what that means. I don't know what your words mean.
Okay, we could read some more if we want to. Probably don't want to, though. No. Go.
So he was a fervent believer in that theory.
A purposeful dehydration.
That eating, drinking, all of that stuff was not beneficial to you during a race. So he wanted to prove his theory by using the marathon runners.
Instead of just having like an experiment that he actually was in a controlled environment, he decided to
throw people who had no idea they were participating in a scientific study.
My goodness. They did a lot of that back in the day.
They did. Especially this era. Like eugenics and all of that time.
Yeah, that's a bad deal.
So the course that they mapped out had lots of steep hills, some of them as high as 300 feet. The dust was so bad that one of the marathon runners who had breathed in so much dust and particles had scraped his esophagus so severely he nearly bled to death from internal bleeding.
And he kept running?
No.
Oh, he fell down?
So the man who won.
Okay.
This guy, I think, dropped out at like mile 9.
So he didn't even get to the water. Good.
There were several that didn't even make it to the water.
Sure.
The first winner, the person they declared the winner, gave up before the midway points.
Okay.
And was leaving. He hitchhiked, got in the car, a car of somebody.
Because when you hitchhike, you don't know what you're getting.
Right.
You are rolling the dice.
Right. And so this car made it to mile 20.
Okay.
And broke down.
Oh.
So he was right there. He just hopped out of the car and jogged the other 4 miles. They declared him the winner. He didn't say anything
about the car
until just before the award ceremony.
Oh. Why did he say something then?
Well, there were people who saw him, so he was going to be found out anyway.
Oh, so he decided to be the bigger person, and then I'll just come out. Okay.
And so at that point, right before he was about to get the gold medal, he was like, listen, I had some help.
I'm winning on a technicality here.
The
car broke down. It didn't
help.
take me all the way to the end.
It didn't. And it didn't start him either.
No.
I mean, he ran maybe
Most
half of it.
Yes.
I mean, maybe. So wow. they disqualified, and then they banned him for participating in the Olympics ever again.
For this one little mistake. Lapse in judgment.
But they were set up to fail to begin with.
They were. So if you want to get right down to it, he probably saved his own life.
He probably did.
By getting in this stranger's car.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Because the organizer was trying to kill everybody. That's an argument that could be made.
It is. Mm-hmm. So then we get number 2.
Okay.
Who is actually ran the whole thing.
Right.
He had been training. He was American, I believe. His name was Thomas Hicks. He had been training for this forever. Okay. He had trainers. He had all these people helping him, get in shape and all of this stuff. They had him on a really strict diet.
Okay.
Of egg whites, brandy, and strychnine.
Why the strychnine? What is the deal with that?
So it's a rat poison.
Well, yeah, I understand.
Yes.
But brandy and egg whites and poison.
It acts as a stimulant.
In the right quantities, I suppose. If you want to play with that, go right ahead.
Yeah. So he would have been disqualified today because it is an enhancing drug.
And a poison.
And a poison. They didn't really know much about that kind of stuff then, but he took it as a stimulant. They gave it to him. They mixed it in with his egg whites as a stimulant so that he could.
I might mix it in with egg whites and have it be rat poison. I mean,
I'm sure there were people who did that also.
Sure.
Probably.
And throw some brandy in there with it. Why brandy? What was that supposed to do? Just make him happy?
I guess.
Chill him out?
I don't know what the brandy was for, but his people, they were adamant this is how
we're going to do it. Were there things like vegetables and or was it just egg whites and poison and brandy?
Egg whites, poison, and brandy.
Wow.
Right before he ran, that is what he had. Egg whites, strychnine, and brandy. So he had fallen way behind. He was ready to give up.
Was halfway. It poison?
Probably.
Okay, yeah, it might make you a little sleepy.
A
little sick.
But the trainers wouldn't let him quit or give him a drink.
Oh. Well, you could watch me sit down right over here and watch me quit, sucker.
They did wash his mouth out with some warm water every once in a while.
Well,
isn't that nice?
That's delightful.
He was barely able to lift his legs. He was hallucinating.
Poison.
By halfway through the race,
poison
had started to hallucinate.
Poison and brandy. Mix that shit together and see what you get. It could be a party. We should go try that when we get done here.
So to fix it,
you go first.
To fix his crazy.
Okay, yeah.
They gave him more.
More poison and brandy? Did they mix the egg whites and the poison? They put it in a blender? Or they just put it in one of those little shaky glasses the bartenders use?
Yeah, probably.
Poured it in a glass?
Shaken, not stirred.
Yeah.
Drink
your egg whites
brandy,
and your poison and your brandy.
So he starts, looking horribly unwell, barely holding himself up, is hallucinating.
Walking around talking to the trees and
probably.
shit.
And so they're like, here, we're going to fix this. Have some more.
Poor bastard.
Was
he ever the same? Did he find new representation? I
hope. God, I hope. They did help him cross the finish line.
They drag him across it?
Basically, that he had his arms over their shoulders, one on each side, and he is up in the air kicking his little legs like he's running. That's how they made him across the finish line.
Close enough. Close enough.
And won the gold.
Touchdown. My
And
God.
he won the gold.
Marvelous.
It took him 3 hours and 28 minutes.
Is that including the passing out and the hallucinating?
That is from start to finish. It took him 3 hours and 28 minutes.
How long does it normally take someone to run that?
Your guess is as good as mine.
It would take me about 6 years.
I do know that is the slowest win in the Olympic history.
Oh.
So apparently it takes them much shorter time.
Okay, yeah. Without the poison and the whiskey. I'm sorry, brandy. Brandy's classy. Brandy.
Yeah.
So did he have a little sifter that he got to like?
I guess
shake it around, smell it.
The trainers.
What on earth made somebody think, you know what, let's mix all this crap together? Was it a dare? Did they want to see if he would really fall for it?
Or if Sullivan was like, sorry, the name of the organizer that was conducting the purposeful dehydration experiments name was James E. Sullivan.
James E. Sullivan.
I don't know if he had something to do with it. I just know his trainers. So
isn't James Sullivan the name of Sully in Monsters, Inc.?
I don't know. There's like a cellist or something, real famous classical musician, I believe, named James Sullivan too.
Let's see.
When
I'm curious now.
So when Thomas Hicks, the winner,
started, is he really a winner though?
I mean, he made it
all that liver failure and. Yep, James P. Sullivan. That's Sully from Monsters Inc.
Okay.
Have you seen Monsters Inc.?
Yes.
I know you don't watch movies.
I don't.
No.
I don't, but I watched it with my kiddos.
Okay. Good deal. So was Sully drinking whiskey and I'm sorry, brandy? I'm stuck on whiskey for some reason.
So it doesn't say.
I thought we were going to be having whiskey with lunch, but we didn't.
We had no whiskey. No brandy either.
No.
Thomas Hicks lost 8 pounds.
As a result,
that 3 hours and 28 minutes running the marathon, Jesus. Lost 8 pounds.
Probably had his hair falling out.
Probably
heart palpitations, bleeding of the gums, stuff like that. The things that strychnine and other poisons are known for.
One of the men gave up like midway through the race.
Good for him.
I mean, several of them did actually.
They chose
like 17 life. Of them chose.
They chose life, didn't they?
Yes, yep. 19. Because they started the race with 33 people and only 14.
15, 26.
Finished.
Okay. I wondered if we were just guessing.
No.
We're not just throwing out numbers.
No, for real. They started with 33.
I was gonna play too, but
actually finished the race. So 19 people dropped out.
Didn't know what we were doing. 19 people quit.
19 people
out of how many that started?
33.
33.
So 14.
More than half.
The race.
More than half quit.
Yeah. One of the gentlemen, his name was Carvajal. He started the race. He gave up about mile 9, I think.
Okay.
But continued training and everything, went on to run in another marathon 2 years later and disappeared off the track. They had no idea what happened to him. Well, it turns out that there was a waterway close to the track, and he hopped on a boat and just took off. They eventually found him several years later. But it, for real, had no idea where he was.
I thought maybe he was going to hitchhike with strangers, and this time they got him, as opposed to the other dude who went a couple miles with the hitchhikers. Bad idea. Don't hitchhike. Public service
in 1904, it might have been okay.
They still had killers back then.
So this Olympic marathon race, was so terrible that they called for the marathon to be banned from the Olympics.
Ooh.
It wasn't, obviously.
Yeah, they still have all the running events.
Were determined to wipe it out of the Olympics because it's just so hard on people, blah, blah, blah. Well, it turns out it's because
we were giving people poison.
Conducting scientific experiments and withholding water and sharing our strychnine with our friends.
And brandy.
And brandy. Don't run. Don't have
No.
brandy and strychnine.
I
Don't
don't-
drink brandy and strychnine.
I don't think I could drink brandy and run.
I don't think I could either.
I don't run, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'd drink brandy and I need to sit down. I can barely walk.
Probably need to take a nap.
And then I need a nap.
Don't take the poison though. Brandy might be one thing. It's not terrible as far as liquor goes, but you know.
True. Strychnine though.
Pretty bad.
Don't do that.
As far as poison goes.
As
yeah.
far it's yeah, don't do that.
Just say no to poison.
Just say no to poison.
Even if you're gonna run a lot.
Even if it's mixed with egg whites. That does not make it healthy.
No.
Not that I think egg whites are all that.
They're supposed to be. I mean,
if you're gonna eat eggs, yes, the yolk is the part with the cholesterol, blah 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 blah. So the egg whites are the healthy part of the egg.
Sure,
but
if you're gonna have deviled eggs, you really need the yolks.
That is true.
I mean, yum.
You do have to have the yolk.
That's all the goodie.
I personally don't like egg yolk when it's boiled because to me it tastes like yellow chalk.
Yep, it's gross.
But whatever.
Yep.
But whatever.
I don't like it runny either.
However, there was a good part to this.
I see that. You look all lit up.
We learned from the 1904 marathon. Water is important when you are running.
Yes, drink it.
Drugs are bad. Don't do drugs.
Or poison.
And run.
Or poison. Don't do drugs and poison.
So it did have its benefits. It also helped kind of.
Do you think we could have learned that some other way without harming people?
But what's the fun in that?
I mean, lawsuits are bad. I mean, they probably couldn't sue them back then, but now they'd sue the pants off them.
Yeah. We also learned, in 1904, there were paved roads. There weren't a whole lot of paved roads.
Right.
But we did also learn from this one with the big fat hills and the 3-inch layer of dust on every road.
And all the traffic. And the horses.
All the traffic.
We should have it on a dedicated
closed
course.
Yes.
Maybe like the oval at the track field.
So, it had its good things.
No. These are commonsensical things. People know, hey, don't have your guy running a race amongst all the horses. Not fair.
There was a car too.
Well, I'm sure. Not fair. They're faster.
They are faster. They were going to win.
The
horses probably won.
I bet they did.
And I bet
they gave them brandy and poison too. Here, winner.
They had their strychnine also.
There you go.
Sullivan, bless his pointy little head.
Bless his pea-picking little bitty heart.
The entire rest, despite watching this disastrous marathon, which at that time was not the last game, he was firm on his belief that purposeful dehydration will improve the performance of athletes.
Well, if you dangle a water bottle at the end of the finish line, they're going to race for it. There's your life right there. Choose it. Run.
I mean, yeah.
Purposeful dehydration. What a bunch of bullshit.
Purposeful.
Nobody should dehydrate
on purpose.
Yeah, I mean, if you do, it's an accident. Yes. It's because you're sick or because, you were running a race and some horrible sadistic asshole was in charge of, the stops and the...
Can you imagine?
No.
Breathing in so much dust that it
ripped up your esophagus.
Your esophagus to the point that you are bleeding internally near death. One of the runners stole. He was running and there were spectators watching and they were snacking on some kind of fruit.
Oh.
And he asked them if he could have one and they said no. And so he knocked them down and took it away.
Well, that just sounds like it's probably his younger brother. I had younger brothers. Knock him down. Take that.
He stole their fruit. And
yep.
I don't know. It was just a disaster. This
sounds like all of it was a disaster. It sounds like this evil man had this evil plan. Did they do anything like this for the women? Or did they have women at that?
In 1904, at that Olympics in St. Louis, women were only allowed to compete in archery.
No equestrian, no golf.
Nothing else. Just
Just archery.
Archery.
Why?
What is it? What do they call that aren't real competitions, but they do at the Olympics?
Exhibition.
Yes. So there was a women's boxing.
There was women's boxing, but there wasn't anything else
They
that they could do.
shoot you with an arrow
Or
and knock your
punch
lights
you in the
out,
face.
but nothing else. Anything else was unladylike.
God. Holy shit. Okay. All right. I'll remember that. I'll punch you in the face when we leave because we're such good friends.
Okay.
I mean,
Only
I
one?
guess it's not a competition though, so I probably shouldn't. But we could exhibit it.
We can. Only one event in 1904 were the women allowed to compete in. Probably Sullivan had a hand in that.
I bet
He didn't
so.
want them swimming, and
No.
all the other
Look
countries got to swim.
Look at all
in
the
1908.
hydration. If you're in that pool, look at all the possible hydration. You wouldn't be dying and being poisoned.
Right?
There wasn't enough dirt in the water, probably.
Can you imagine?
No. No, I think that's incredibly silly, every bit of that.
Yes.
Boxing and archery.
That's all. But boxing wasn't boxery. Boxing wasn't a real competition. It was just pretend.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I suppose the punches were probably pretty real.
I would think so.
Yeah.
I would think so. I mean,
Jesus.
we want the women in 1904 to be extra ladylike.
Yeah, and a black eye screams, "Look at me."
Here's your boxing gloves.
Yes, I'm very demure. I'm going to go home and make cookies now. And dinner will be on the table at 5 with my black eye.
Yeah.
Good Lord Almighty. Okay.
Okay.
Learning more stuff every day.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, I kind of
fun
think he
fact.
was the asshole.
He totally was the asshole.
He kind of seems like the asshole.
Yeah.
I am all for science experiments.
But, people should probably know if they're part of it.
There should be.
He knew that nobody would volunteer for it if he told anybody about it.
Especially listen, I have been training for years to be right here.
Yes. To run this race.
I would like to finish it.
Try to win a medal and not die. And not
those
breathe
are
all
my
the dirt,
goals. I want to finish.
Run over by a car.
I don't want to die. Those are the ultimate goals.
I don't want to run with the horses.
Don't want to dodge a horse or a car.
No.
Don't want to have to knock over a spectator and steal his fruit.
Steal their fruit because you provide no water except at the 12-mile mark.
When you see somebody running and they are starving and they are falling over,
maybe help them.
Why say no? No. You cannot have a bite of my watermelon.
There is no drinking for you.
Peaches. That's what it was. It was peaches.
Those are nice and
You
wet.
may not have a peach.
No.
You get your ass out there and run, sir.
You go over there and die.
You eat your peaches.
Go over there and die.
After.
Yeah. It would be cheating if you hydrated during this race. So get on out of here. You make me sick. Dirty cheaters.
I know.
My God.
It's just crazy. They're just that absolute insanity. So yes,
that
definitely the asshole.
That is some pretty bizarre. I mean, it's funny for us to joke at, but he tried to kill people.
He did.
He did.
And
then the ladies didn't get to do anything.
And then the ladies didn't get to play.
They got the archery and the punching each other in the face.
I wonder what happened to the 5 they were allowed to in the previous Olympics.
I bet you
and then
he had
we were
something
like,
to do with it.
We don't want to see you ride a horse and play golf.
Yep. No. Go punch that girl.
You look silly with that croquet.
Go over there and punch that girl.
What are they?
Croquet mallet.
Yeah. You look silly with that mallet.
Yep. We should find out. We may have to revisit this. Find out what happened to the other 5 events that were just not ladylike enough.
I know. But
for the next Olympics.
But boxing and
my
good God.
Yeah.
Bless him.
Oh,
all right. So he's definitely the asshole. We actually agree on this.
This time
it wasn't me.
Nope.
Not this time.
Not this time.
I was not the asshole this time.
Nope. Next time you will be.
James C. Sullivan is the asshole.
Yes.
Absolutely 100% the asshole.
Clearly.
Uh-huh.
We hate him.
I mean, you can. I have a strong dislike, but he's dead.
He's dead.
So it doesn't matter.
He doesn't care if you hate him.
He doesn't care if I hate him, but that is a lot on me to carry.
Well, no, we're going to forget about him as soon as we leave.
That is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Come back.
Yes.
Tuesdays,
Like and
superstitions.
subscribe. Come see
Please
us.
do that. Please like. It helps us out. Tell your friends. That helps us also.
Yeah. We tell our friends.
We do.
Yeah, both of them. We've got more than that, but that was fun.
You're my friend.
You're my friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was fun.
It was.
All right.
Come back next
Like
time.
and subscribe. Come back on Tuesdays for superstitions and Saturdays for Am I the Asshole?
We'll be here.
Carol loves you.
I do.
I have a fondness.
She does.
Uh-huh.
Peace out.
Peace out.